2026 is going to be a massive year for Xbox. Jason Ronald teases that we can look forward to a lot of stuff. Can't confirm anything, but obviously there's going to be a lot of big announcements from Xbox in 2026. Perfect Dark, the developers behind it. Yes, the game may be canceled, but they've been hired on to work on something else. We have a new game for Xbox Play Anywhere, as well as a game announced for Xbox Game Pass in January. Skyrim has been released once again. They just keep releasing this game. Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake looks like it's happening. Got some news on that, plus some many other things to go over on today's show. But before we continue, if you do enjoy this content, make sure to hit the subscribe, share, and like the video. It really does help get it out there to more people. Just those small little things helps grow this channel, helps me continue to do this. So please consider that. But for now, let's get into the news. So as we know, 2026 is going to be a massive year for Xbox with their game releases. That's what we know. If they continue to hit on that and get those out, they don't get delayed, and they actually release all the stuff they're supposed to be releasing, it's going to be a massive year. I think it's going to outdo 2025, which was been phenomenal for Xbox and for Xbox Game Pass, and outdo 2024, which was also very good for Xbox and Game Pass. 25th anniversary, Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable. It's going to be a lot of fun, but there's potentially going to be more information about the future of the Xbox hardware and the future of the Xbox ecosystem. Now, we know they are making a hardware. No matter how many people online every day can still say that the console and the hardware is dead and it is not coming. They've told us multiple times that they are, but the ecosystem is going to continue to evolve. And how is it going to evolve? That's something that we will see more about, I believe, in 2026. And Jason Ronald talks about this. He's on an interview with the BBC in the UK, and it's mainly about the ROG Xbox Ally and all of that. But the host of this interview says, the child me would be so unhappy if I didn't press you on this point. Are you going to bring more original Xbox games to Game Pass in the future? And Jason Ronald says this. So what I will say is, I can't announce anything today, but in 2026 is the 20th anniversary of Xbox, and we want to celebrate the great legacy and history that we have with Xbox, as well as defining the future for where the Xbox ecosystem is going. So I can't confirm or deny what you're asking, but stay tuned as we have a lot of exciting things to share next year. And this really has me thinking about where they're going with the ecosystem. We know they're expanding it out. Xbox, PC, any screen, they want that experience to be the same across every single device. The major thing right now that is missing is the console games that you can't access on your PC, on your handheld, on all of those places where it isn't the Xbox console. You can't access that. And I think they're working very hard right now to have that ready for 2026 as they do continue to expand out the Xbox ecosystem. We've had some quotes over the last few months where they've confirmed that that's what they are doing, is bringing over the console experience to Xbox everywhere. And I feel like that's kind of what he's hinting at. Yes, he's not confirming it. He's not denying it either. But I have a feeling that you're going to get access to your OG Xbox, your Xbox 360, your Xbox One, then, of course, your Xbox Series X and S games on your PC, on the ROG Xbox Ally, on whatever they have coming out next, which from what we understand is going to be the console PC hybrid. And for them to do that, they're going to have to make sure that people who have invested all of this money in the Xbox ecosystem throughout all of these generations, who have bought all these games that are only playable on console, they want them to go and upgrade and get the next Xbox. They're going to have to be able to access those games. And if it is going to have the PC side integration, that means they're going to be working on bringing that over to your PC that does not the next Xbox console. So that's what I'm hoping he's hinting at. To me, that is an extremely exciting future. If we get an update and then all of a sudden within the Xbox app on PC, you start seeing your console catalog in there and you can play them. I'm sure there will be many different solutions, like either streaming them. Some of them you may be able to download and play natively, but just having that access is going to be a major thing here and a major selling point for the future of the Xbox ecosystem. So 2026 is going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait to hear more about it. The January developer direct's probably going to be huge. So excited about all the stuff that is to come here from Xbox. All right, as we know, Perfect Dark was canceled, and that was a major disappointment for a lot of people. And you have to ask the people who were working on this game. They were working on it for a very long time. And it seems like they weren't able to produce what they needed to in that time to get this game to continue to go forward. And once this gets canceled, what happens to some of the major heads there, the major devs that have been working on the game? Well, it looks like they've been scooped up here from Take-Two after Perfect Dark has been canceled. So this is a report here from Windows Central saying, unlike anything I've taken on before, the heads of this canceled Xbox game joined Take-Two to make a new 2K developer after Microsoft killed their studio. So the developers that have been scooped up here are Daryl Gallagher, who is going to serve as the senior vice president at 2K and the head of a brand new developer. And then there is also Brian Horton, the creative director, who is going to be filling the role of vice president, the head of creative at Fledgling Studio. Gallagher announces on LinkedIn, following a report from Bloomberg, Jason Schreier, saying, I'm excited to share that I will be joining 2K as the SVP studio head, where I'll be building a new studio and leading an ambitious opportunity unlike anything I've taken on before. Saying, I spent my career believing in what's possible when great people come together with a bold vision. I can't wait to get started with the exceptional team at 2K. And then Horton says, happy to announce that and confirm the news that in his post as well. So pretty crazy to think about, because Perfect Dark failed. That's the reality of the situation, is it did fail. And I think one of the major reasons it did fail was because of the lack of management direction to get this game out in a reasonable amount of time. And that was pretty clear from the showcase that we saw the game. And apparently they had just built that specifically for the showcase, and the game wasn't even really close to being made. It was still another couple of years. So there's a lot that goes into it. Of course, leadership at all levels, I think, failed for that game. And I think announcing it as early as they did was also not a good idea. But clearly, it took them a lot of time working on it. And that's one of the things that Xbox looks at that and says they couldn't sink any more money into. Then that studio gets basically obsolete because the game fails. Then these guys move on and they're going to start a new studio. So we'll see how this does work at 2K. Maybe if the higher management 2K is good at keeping everything going forward, maybe they will end up releasing a very good game. But that's just an interesting thing here to see them now post over to 2K after the failure of Perfect Dark. Right, Xbox Play Anywhere continues to expand out. One of the things I do like seeing are big games getting that feature in there, because that'll be a major selling point for a lot of people for a game when it does drop. If you can pick it up in the Xbox ecosystem, if you have the console and you play on PC, you get to pay for it once and access it everywhere and through the cloud as well. I think that's a huge advantage and a huge feature going forward. Another game is entering the Xbox Play Anywhere, and this comes from a publisher now that has been putting more of their games in there, and that's Konami. They are putting Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater into the Xbox Play Anywhere, joining Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill F. So it seems like they're on board. I would expect future titles here from Konami to get the Xbox Play Anywhere tag on there so that you can go ahead and play those games. So very cool. And I'm excited now picking this up, getting to play it on PC, getting to play it on the console as well. And I expect this to continue in 2026. As we did see from the last Xbox showcase, Play Anywhere was the main thing they focused on. I expect the majority of their showcases going forward to really highlight those Play Anywhere titles. We do have news here for a game that we know now is coming onto Game Pass in January, and that here is Nova Roma, which is coming to Game Pass on January 22nd, 2026, and it is a new day one game for the service here. It is a building game, a city building game, your Roman Empire in decline, all of that stuff. So if you like city building games, you're going to want to check this one out. And I'm sure we're going to see more stuff like this trickle up, more day one titles. We know that they're doing 75 or 75 plus, whatever it was, for Ultimate. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of day one titles this year, first party, third party, big third party games, indie games, all of that stuff. But that is just another one here that is dropping January 22nd, 2026. As we know, Skyrim likes to release on everything, and it is being released again here. The Switch 2 is getting their version of Skyrim with a free upgrade for people who are obviously already own the game itself. But Switch 2 is getting a bunch of improved stuff, resolutions, and load times for this game. They are getting Skyrim, the Anniversary Edition, and this was already released in 2021 for PS5, Series XS, PS4, and Xbox One, and PC. Then released in Nintendo Switch in 2022, and now they just shadow dropped here in the eShop the Nintendo Switch 2 version. The Switch 2 version is priced at $60, but if you already own the Anniversary Edition, you get the download for free. One of the things that is being added here are mouse controls, motion controls, amiibo support, all that stuff. So you're going to get to be able to actually use your mouse on when playing Skyrim on your Nintendo Switch 2. They also say here players who only own the standard edition of Skyrim on the Switch don't have to buy the full price game on Switch 2. They can instead buy the anniversary upgrade version for $20. So there you have it. Skyrim is being released again. I love my Switch 2. I've been playing a lot of it recently. I'm actually liking my Switch 2 much more than I liked my Switch 1. Although I enjoyed the Switch 1, I love being able to go into my back catalog because I have a ton of physical Switch games and just pop them into my Switch 2. And a lot of them just naturally are play better just because of the system and stuff. So this will be one that's interesting to check out to see how much better it actually does run. But I mean, I've played Skyrim multiple times, owned it in multiple places. So I mean, why not have it in another place? As I feel like people are still going to go out there and pick this game up once again as they continue to release Skyrim here in 2025. Now, we talked about that statue that the Game Awards is teasing yesterday, and it looks like I could be wrong. I was thinking this is Cyros just simply because the game got rated. It looks like it's all lining up for this big marketing campaign for the game. They're going to come out with pre-orders. That statue is going to be for Cyros, which is something, game looks great, but we've already seen it. So it would have been underwhelming. I was hoping it was going to be for a new game. It looks like it actually may be for a new game, which is far more exciting here than it being a game that we have already seen. But we are seeing some trademarks drop here that match that statue, and this is starting to make sense here. Divinity Original Sin. That's what it seems like this statue is for. Now we have this here from Kami. Looks like the Game Award statue may have been solved. New trademarks for Divinity Original Sin were filed in Europe today, and the logo matches the symbol found on the statue. If true, he's extremely hyped for this. But you can see this is the picture, and then there are some logos that have been filed that match this. Like exactly. You can see one side here is a statue, the other side is the trademark. So this is the next game here from Larian, which will be huge, which will be massive, obviously, after a game like Baldur's Gate 3. So if that makes more sense, because we've seen Jason Schreier come out and hype it up and say, yeah, this is something that's good, but he doesn't want to give away what it is. If it is the new game from Larian, if it is Divinity Original Sin game, then yes, this will be a big, big announcement. All right, next up here is a game that we've talked about for a while that looks like it is coming. More information that it is coming, and this is very exciting. I'm looking forward to see how they remake this game, as I think a lot of people are. It ranks up there as one of the best, if not the best, Assassin's Creed game for a lot of people. That is Assassin's Creed Black Flag here. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced appears on the PEGI rating site. I really hope they show this off at the Game Awards, because this will be a huge moment for Assassin's Creed fans. But it says here, the long-awaited Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake might have just gotten one step closer to being released, as the PEGI ratings board has published a new listing that talks about Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. No new information on that. But I mean, we've seen this happen. We've heard about this game for a while now. Like, it looks like it is absolutely coming, and you can see it here with the whole PEGI rating and everything. So that is extremely exciting. They do say here that it has been confirmed to be released before March 31st, 2026. This was in the recent financial report. So that is something that we're going to see very soon. Like, we're already in December, within the next few months. So releasing or announcing this at the Game Awards makes a ton of sense. I'm actually expecting this now tomorrow, because it's been rated and because it is being potentially released here before March 31st, 2026. I can't wait. I mean, this will be very hype for Assassin's Creed fans. Again, it's one of the most beloved one in the series, and I really hope they do justice here with this remake. We've been talking about the Netflix acquisition, the games division. That's really the thing I care more about the most when it comes to this. What are they going to be doing with the games? This is a bad sign right now, as it seems like they're actually downplaying the games division. They don't care that much about it, which it's Netflix. Yes, they have the gaming side, which they are definitely trying to expand out, but will they care enough to try to take those IPs that are AAA games and make them better? It seems like right now they don't care nearly as much. But this is what it does say, that this was a post here from co-CEO Gregory Peters on the company's pending purchase of WB Games, saying, while they definitely have been doing some great work in the game space, we actually didn't attribute any value to that from the get-go, because they're relatively minor compared to the grand scheme of things. Now we're super excited because some of those properties that they've built, Hogwarts is a great example of that, have done quite well, and we think that we can incorporate that into what we're offering. They've got great studios and great folks working there, so we think that there's definitely an opportunity there. But just to be clear, we haven't built that into our deal model. So it seems like the gaming division side of things from Netflix and Warner Brothers it's at the bottom of the totem pole for what they actually care about. And that to me is somewhat concerning, because if it's not making the money that they want, it would sound like once this deal goes through, if it goes through, because we know Paramount's trying to get in there now, which I don't know if we'll have a different result when it comes to gaming. They may end up just shedding some of the gaming side of stuff. Maybe they sell it off. Maybe they just let it go to die. Who knows? But that part does sound a little bit concerning. But a couple of more things here. Capcom, it looks like they're going to continue to dive into more of their back catalog of games, which is a very good thing. Mega Man, Devil May Cry, and Ace Attorney. They want to bring those back well. And we have this here from Capcom, their 2025 integrated report. And one of the things they do talk about here is that we have consistently released 2 to 3 major new titles each year, but recognize the need to grow our pipeline going forward. Capcom owns a wealth of globally popular brands such as Mega Man, Devil May Cry, and Ace Attorney. We aim to expand our user base and improve our performance through new releases, remakes, and ports of titles in these series to new hardware. So that's great. I would love to see a brand new Mega Man game into the series. Devil May Cry is phenomenal. I would love to see them make a new one with that too. Ace Attorney, I know there's a lot of fans out there for that, and they've put out remakes and compilations and everything for Ace Attorney recently, I believe. So I really hope 2026 is the year a brand new Mega Man game gets announced. We've seen them put their collections together as well, which have been very good, but I want to see something built here from the ground up. Brand new one into the series, and as well with Devil May Cry, or even a remaster, remake of the older Devil May Cry. I think that would be pretty cool too. I'm kind of expecting that now from what Capcom is saying here. And 2 more quick things here. The former Last of Us devs, so directors, their new game is going to be revealed at the Game Awards. They put out a post themselves and they say, Thursday, join us for the announcement of the first game from Wildflower Interactive. And this is their debut game. And they previously were directors of The Last of Us. So you can expect some good stuff from them. If you've liked that game, if you like what the work that they've done, you'll want to pay attention to that. And finally, Arc Raiders, they have announced their big release for their next upcoming major update. And that major update is Cold Snap. And the date has been revealed. Cold Snap will be released in Arc Raiders on December 16th per recent social-based update from Embark Studios. So if you're waiting for content, that's when that is coming. My biggest thing here with Arc Raiders is, yes, it's super popular. How are they going to continue to keep players with new content going forward as new stuff does come out through 2026? And looks like they're starting here in December on December 16th. But on the video there, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.